Alright, looks like we're ready.
Okay, just let me know when I'll go live, or if I am live. That's fine too.
You are live, you can start.
I'm live right now. Okay, so let me just exit back to the main menu. This is Millennium Racer, a game from 1999 for the PC and another console, which I'll say something more about later. First, I'm going to read the lore of this game. I've got the box here, and I'm going to do it very dramatically. So, in the third millennium, the network knows no boundaries. There is but a single limit: saturation. Speed is the rarest commodity on the web. Network gamers can now transport vital data using their virtual self, riding virtual bikes. Speed can be very profitable. The faster you go, the bigger your reputation. Challenge mercenaries of cyber reality to become the quickest and most notorious racer on the net. So that's basically what the game is about, but you're just driving Tron-like vehicles. And we're going to do the professional championship. And I'm going to count down, and I will hit the enter button once we start. So it's 3, 2, 1, and go. So here you can see what the game looks like. First thing you notice are these golden strips on the floor. I'm used to calling them boost strips, but the game calls them superconductors. Basically, if you drive over them, you will gain a lot of speed and gain some boost. I will be explaining that more later. First, this trick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That should be enough. So what I did there is jump out of bounds. Then a timer starts running. It runs for around 10 seconds before you're put back on the last known position on the track. However, if I jump up there and I wait for a certain amount of time, I can jump back into the track without any consequences. If you jump in too fast, the game registers that you are cheating, and it just gives you a minus lap. And I hope we don't get any of those, but we shall see. As you can see, there are AI players. They're not very good. I will surpass them multiple times probably, but they can get in your way in other tracks, as this is the first track of 12, I think. I'm not really sure. Oh, that was a drop down there. That's not super bad. Minus lap is basically the worst thing you can get, because you waste 30 seconds. 3, 4, 5. Don't like that. that's a minus lap, which happened because I counted too fast. So that loses me 38 seconds in this case, because I also made the mistake to fall down there. These green rings I just jumped to are also boost rings. They give you 200 miles per hour extra, no matter how fast you go, but I will explain something more about that later. Let's just get this done correctly. That should be fine here. So doing this 7 times in a row is a bit risky, but especially considering you only save around 2 seconds each lap for this track, but it's still worth it, I think. And there's even a riskier strat, which I'm going to try next lap maybe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I'm going to try it now, which is, instead of slowing down there, I bump into the wall, fall back onto the edge of the track, so the game still thinks I'm out of bounds. Then I jump up the same path as I usually take. And because I've already been out of bounds for a few seconds, it thinks, oh no, I've hovered above the track, so that doesn't count. I might have to still count to 5. 3, 4. Oh, and now I was too late with jumping back into the track. So you can tell how difficult this is to pull off consistently. That's good. And of course I also have to speak now, so I can't concentrate completely, but it's going okay. Only one minus lap, so it's not too bad. Let's see. 2, 3, 4, 5. And you can tell I'm constantly using tapping boost. Basically, you have a boost meter in this game. It's at the top left corner of the screen. It does regenerate. It regenerates faster if you're on the golden boost strips, basically. And if you tap it, you decelerate a lot slower. So that's pretty useful to do. Otherwise, you go basically. I will explain that next lap, by the way. Basically, when you're in a the normal track, so not the yellow parts, you can go. There's no maximum in this game, despite the guy who keeps saying speed's maxed. It's not maxed. You can go as fast as you want, but if you go on the normal track, you will always be put back into the back into 640 miles per hour once you start boosting. So like I'm boosting right now, imagine if I'm going like this and I start boosting again, I will first be put back to 640 miles per hour, as you can tell here, before I can gain speed again. So I try to gain as much momentum as possible and carry that through most of the track. This is not a difficult part, which I'm never looking forward to, but I nailed it this time at least. 6 more laps to go. So now I will keep tapping boost and carry the speed for most of the track until I get to a point where I think I can gain speed again, which is here. So it's a bit complex to manage your speed. You have to keep looking at the speed meter. If you're going above 640 miles per hour, whether you want to slow down or not. And if you are going below 640 miles per hour, whether you want to spend your boost or not. And there is another limit, similarly to the 640 miles per hour, that's around 940 miles per hour, and that's for the speed you can gain from boosting on these yellow strips. So if I'm going 1100 miles per hour, like I'm doing now, I try to avoid the boost strips because they'll slow me down until I go 940 miles per hour, and then I will be able to gain speed again. So it's constantly checking. You have to constantly check how fast you are going. I hope I can dodge that. And this is a really annoying part where the AI tends to get in your way. And if you hit an AI, you're basically screwed, because your bike spins out into a very weird pattern, if you can even call it a pattern. And that is our toughest AI we've just passed. So it's not the most difficult game once you know how to maintain your speed using the tapping the boost button. But it's still a difficult game for speedrunning because, well, there's a lot of stuff that can go wrong and very little that can go right. These meteors always move in the same pattern, by the way. It's not RNG. No RNG in this game. Even the positions on the grid are basically set beforehand. If you win this one, you will end up on the 3rd location, I think, on the next map. And I always win, so that's fine. This is going pretty well, actually. I hope I don't ruin it in the final 3 laps. Get out of the way, please. And that was pretty bad that I hit that corner there. Another thing about this game is that cornering is pretty much tapping instead of cornering like in other games. So you don't hold down the left button, you tap it. If you hold it down, you will slow down a lot. So you can hear me tapping maybe pretty much constantly. but that does make you go a little bit faster. Let's see here. It's 2 more laps. So another thing about this game is that it was the latest release for the Dreamcast. It was released on the Dreamcast this year. So, well, released is a big word I think, but it was discovered this year. Ah, damn. So some guy bought a dev kit for the Dreamcast and it had this game on it and it was fully complete. Like the entire game is exactly the same as it was of course a port. So the game is exactly the same as this and it was functional. The only problem I had with the Dreamcast version is that you can't tap boost in that version. So you just decelerate as fast as you would normally do without tapping boost. Even when you tap boost. So that was pretty much a game killer for me, because that's how most of these maps or tracks work. You just build up speed, then continue to tap boost until you're done. And then you try to not get completely messed up in these tunnels. Which is yeah, I think the tunnels are the closest thing we have in this game to RNG, because it just decides to be whatever it wants to be. Sometimes it acts as if, oh shit, it's a tunnel. Okay, that was a good save. And sometimes it acts as a wall which you bounce off of, and other times it just does nothing at all. This is another very interesting track, at least I think. The first lap of this track is different. I hope I can nail it. It's pretty difficult, but basically I'm going to chain together these 3. Yes, very good. I can chain these 3 gold boosts together, go really fast, and then just carry this all the way back to the next lap of this track. And then you will see me do some, well, maybe not. Usually I slow down after this track to rebuild that same speed, but at a different position. Yeah, I'm going to have to do it now as well. So I will slow down here by bumping into these things, jump back on here, and this is basically, I hope I made, yes I made it, a second chain boost which we'll see for the rest of the laps. Because the other chain we do is really only faster for the first lap. And once again I skip the power strips on in front of the finish line, because they will just slow me down. This is a bit too slow. There is an alternative route here for when you go shit. No, not when you go shit, but when you go like 1300 miles per hour. I'm going to do another alternative route here. This is the route for when I try to get the best lap, because this sets you up perfectly for the next lap, if I do it correctly. And I didn't. Normally you would chain those together and then you would go around 1400 miles per hour here, and instead of slowing down again you would just go left here and, well, finish the entire lap on the last lap's speed. Oh my god. Well, we can try that lap again, I guess. If I don't screw up here as well. Yes, I did. It's a double screw up. So I landed just above one of the holes there, which counts as like a rough area. So it slowed me down and it didn't allow me to continue the boost. So that was a really slow lap. Took 40 seconds. Normally you would aim for a sub 33. And I don't think I'm going to make it this time either. But you got to see one good lap, I suppose. So that's fine. This one isn't so bad, but it's really not good. And I'm still going to skip the power strips here. Sometimes you can hit the finish line and bounce off it and gain a huge amount of speed for no reason. It's because the finish line is a physical thing in this game. I don't know why they decided to do that, but it's pretty funny. Slow down there a bit, so I can make it this time. No. Well, that's good enough. Well, actually it isn't, but we just have to deal with it. Get out of the way, please. So I try to land on top of the finish line to give me that speed boost, but it seems to happen randomly. It can also happen at other areas that have a slope on them. Get out of the way, get out of the way, get out of the way. But that's less common. Like that pillar I just hit, you can do you can get a boost speed off that as well because it's a slope, but it barely ever happens. At least we're going at a okay speed in the final lap. And this is where things start getting more annoying than usual, because these are really long pieces of track basically, with huge tunnels with spikes in them. And because they're tunnels and they have spikes and they have boost strips, they're a bit difficult to navigate. I have to jump here just before I land. Basically this game has a double jump feature, that when you jump, before you land you can jump again, and it will act as if you hadn't touched the ground yet. So that's pretty good for most parts here, because often you have to jump over these pits and you don't want to lose your speed. This is a pretty good lap. For this lap, the first lap is sub 1 minute, pretty good. For every other lap, it's basically sub 55 seconds. I don't know if you can hear my cat scratching the bin there, but and another thing about this game is if you land on a slope that's going downward, you lose speed. I have no idea why that happens. If you land on a slope that goes up, you do not lose that much speed, but if you land on a slope that goes down, you will lose your speed for some reason. And I haven't explained yet what these brown rings are. They're just boost rings, not boost as in a speed boost, but boost as in it refills the boost meter. We won't really need it in most of the tracks, but in some they are pretty vital, because eventually you just run out of boost, and with 7 laps, normally I do the easy championship because it's the shortest. And it doesn't contain the one track that I hate a lot. But in 7 laps you are more likely to run out of boost sometime during a track. And that jump where you saw me jump off track just now, you see me do it a couple of times already. But I do that to make the jump longer so I can boost longer, because it still considers me to be on the golden power strip or the boost strip, so I can continue to hold down the boost button while being on top of the strip, and it will continue to increase my speed until I land. So that's why I do that. And you will see me do that a couple of more times. And I really hate this tunnel. This has gone really well so far, but I still hate it. And this shortcut, you know, I'm not even sure if it's a shortcut, but it looks cooler, so whatever. And I'm getting a dry throat, but I can't drink. There's no downtime in this game at all, which is cool, because you can just keep going, but when you need to speak as well, it's pretty annoying. This is a decent lap as well. Get out of the way, please. Oh shit. Yeah, I've lost some speed there, but that's not too bad because here you're going to want to boost up again anyway. Losing speed is really only really harmful when there's nothing to fix it up. So if I lose speed here, for example, I will have to do this entire part at like 700 miles per hour instead of the 1000 miles per hour I go currently. And that's basically how I set up this game, is to do I constantly look at my speedometer to see how fast I'm going, and based on that I will decide when to slow down, when to speed up. It's fun, at least for me, to kind of run around, drive around and make some instant decisions about not hitting that guy, for example. That was a good decision. And I heard that the music has started stuttering. Yeah, so I'm going to turn off the sound soon because that really drives me crazy. It happens sometimes with the CD, that the audio starts stuttering off the soundtrack. And like, I'm fine with it if it happens on the last lap of the last track, but if I have to do pretty much all tracks still, I'd rather have it off. So I'm going to do that at the start of next race, so I don't have to do it while I'm going very fast. Let's see here. Oh yeah, that's really annoying, the soundtrack skipping constantly. And that's also really annoying. Oops, I'm stuck under the ceiling. There's a ceiling there. You can't see it, but I got stuck under it. So that's what I meant with there's just no clue about what will happen if you bump into someone. Right now I just flew up into the ceiling. Going to slow down a bit here, then grab that. And continue to boost so I still gain enough speed. So this is a bad lap, but that was mainly because of that guy bumped into. In between races or tracks, you can save your profile as a ghost race, which is pretty cool. I think that they already did that back then, and you can send those around and have everybody try to race them. I've uploaded a few to speedrun.com, so if you want, this game is abandonware, so you can just download it, and you can then play my profiles, which are better than what I'm doing right now. Well, actually this is really good, but this is a difficult track as well. And you will see a cool skip here, which I think looks very professional, and I hope I get it right now. Yep, there we go. So I just jumped over that corner there. All the walls here are one-sided, so once you're on the other side you can go through them. So it's really interesting. An interesting skip, I think. Oh, and this is going really well so far. For the first two laps, these were basically pretty flawless laps. And the cat just jumped onto my desk. So the flawless times are over. This is not that bad. So if you hear something meowing, my cat just jumped onto the desk. And I can't put her off because I'm racing. So fun times ahead. As long as she doesn't jump onto my keyboard, it should be okay. Oh, this is a good one. That was really good. Okay, now she's crawling into my neck. That's fine too, as long as she's off the desk. Ooh, almost hit the side there. These are all pretty precise jumps. It might not look like it, but if you jump too late on the slope that goes upwards, you still lose speed. And this jump also isn't the easiest. I just slow down there a bit to grab the boost strip. So this is pretty decent so far. And this might not be. Okay. Good enough. I still forgot to fix the audio. Well, to turn it off, I mean. I guess I'm not as bothered by it as I thought I would be. That could be because the soundtrack is so good. I won't make this, so okay, I will. It's pretty rare to get to make that jump 7 times. And of course these weren't as perfect as some of the other ones, but just getting over it without wasting a lot of time is really good. This could still be a best track record for me, at least. There we go, another good one. So just one more. And it's a perfect, well, perfect. It's a great track. Ooh, that was a bit too close. And as you can see, I took a sharp turn there, so I lost a lot of speed. Which is why I, like I said before, always tap the button. And looks like we'll be fine here. That's really good. I wasn't expecting that. And as you can tell, all these tracks are basically alike. You get three tracks in the same sort of alien planet. I don't know, you heard the story. Could just be different parts of the internet or something. This is one of the most annoying tunnels there is. And here you will see that I will slow down on purpose by taking a sharp turn. Go on 640 miles per hour, pick up that speed boost ring. Bump my head, jump, bump my head. I was too late with bumping my head again. That's okay, I was going fast enough already. Why do I bump my head there? Because if you don't bump your head, you're still considered in the hover mode which you have after you land a jump. So I have to bump my head there, or I will jump again and I won't make the jump to the next golden power strip, boost strip, whatever you want to call it. Now I'm going to try and do this very risky. And it worked. Or not. Yes, it worked. Now I have to slow down again. And I was just in time with slowing down. You could continue, but it's not faster and it's not smart, because you want to go fast. And what I find most interesting about this track is that you skip everything that looks like it'll be faster just to go straight until the finish line with the speed you've already gained at the beginning. Oh my god, my cat is really trying to scratch my neck open or something. Oh, and that can happen. Isn't as bad as when you get stuck behind one of those spikes, because you can basically just start gaining speed right at that part again because of the power strip that's there. Okay, I'm going to turn the audio off now. Let's see here. Not abort race. CD music? No. Okay. I kind of saved it. So now the music is off. Now you only get to listen to me. Yay. And I'm going to be quiet because I have nothing else to tell about this track, except that it's the worst one. Not the most difficult one, but just the worst one because of all the, well, all of the this. And in this, well, this track is one of the few tracks where you have to grab that boost ring now and then, or you will run out of boost, and you will be really screwed. Once you run out of boost, you basically can't do anything except hope that you gain boost fast enough to not lose all of your time. But so far these laps haven't been terrible. I would say 54 seconds is okay. 54, did I say 54? 45 seconds is okay. But you want to be below that. But you always want to be below everything, so. But it's mostly just.
I'm just going to chime in really quick to say that we just got a raid from Kuru HS, so thank you very much for that.
Oh, that's really cool. Thanks, man. I hope you enjoy. And I might explain a few things again then, but maybe not. I don't know how many people join, but we shall. Oh, I have to slow down a bit here. I'm not slowing down enough. Now I'm going too slow. That was a small mistake there, but not too shabby. Yeah, so if you don't know, I can't see the chat because this game only runs on Glide Wrapper and is giving some problems with always trying to be on top. And I don't have a second screen, so that's another problem. So I just basically talk to myself most of the time. Let's see here. I'm going to hit the ceiling again. But that's not that bad. If I do it here, it is pretty bad, but still not terrible since that boost ring is here anyway. I can just gain speed again. So for the newcomers, I might explain the speed mechanics again. On the normal track, which is this gray area here, you can go at around 640 miles per hour. Then you can keep boosting and your speed is basically never maxed out. But you will lose boost eventually, so you will run out of boost. But if you just once you start boosting and you go like 700 miles per hour and then you try to boost again, you lose speed until you go 640 miles per hour before you can accelerate again. So you will sometimes see me purposely slow down so that I can accelerate again much quicker. And what I'm doing here is just boosting these. Oh shit, that's not good. I was going way too fast. I boost those yellow strips together, power strips, boost strips, whatever you want to call them, and they will continue to increase your speed as long as you chain them together. Once you get off one, and you touch the normal ground, and you go back onto another, the same thing applies as the 640 miles per hour limit. So if I touch one of those golden strips with 1000 miles per hour, it will slow me down to 940 miles per hour before I'm able to accelerate again. Might sound very difficult, but you get used to it once you play this a lot. And you can play this because it is, like I said before, abandonware, which means you can download it for free and just and start racing. And you can even race against my profiles, which might not be really funny for the first, if you try to do that for the first time, but and this was something I discovered only recently. Decent way to get through this tunnel, because this used to be a real pain and I would go around 600 miles per hour there through the entire tunnel and then have to go really slow until here. But I basically found out that if you jump before you go into the tunnel, it doesn't think it's a tunnel. So like I said before, tunnels do whatever they want, and apparently that manipulates them into being just a regular floor. So that was really nice. Before I never got a sub 1 minute, and now I'm getting a new best player lap, as you can see at the bottom. So that's really fast. That's a new, well, that might not be a new world record actually. I have played some other characters. You can make your own character here, give them a face. Shit. Oh, okay, that's pretty good. Give them a face and a name, and that name will be pretty much keeping all your records. So I use this character the most because it's Fireman, so why not? But I do use others as well, and sometimes I get faster time on those or not. So it's not always the world record if I get a best player lap, but it usually is. But in this case, I'm not sure if I got a fast lap or not. We can check afterwards because it keeps track of all your stats in game, which is also pretty cool for a game this old. Oh no. And this guy keeps saying speed maxed out, but like I said before, it's never maxed out. You can always go quicker. This is not a bad tunnel. It's not really good either, but it should be okay. And this jump, I used to think it was really annoying as well, because another thing I haven't explained really is that if you jump with the spacebar, but you can hold it down to jump higher, or you can tap it to jump like a baby jump. But in that case, you want to do like a medium-sized jump, which is a bit weird, which you never do in any other track besides this one. And if you jump too high, you will hit the ceiling from the entrance. And if you jump too low, you will hit the actual track, which means you will come to a complete halt, which wastes a lot of time. And by a lot, I mean a few seconds, because this game is just really fast. And the game actually has another, it has like a subtitle. It's Millennium Racer and then Y2K Fighters. But there is no fighting in this game, even though you can see the targeted things, the faces show up in the top right corner sometimes. You don't have any weapons, and you don't actually fight, which I thought was pretty weird. But I guess they just liked to show you all the face models they worked on or something. I don't know. Get out of the way, please. And that's the best AI passed again. I think second time, first time. So the AI isn't really a threat in this game if you know how to, oh shit, if you know how to play it. But they still can get in your way, but it doesn't really happen that often. We saw it once at the fourth track. But they generally stay out of your way because they're dumb. They don't know where to go fast. Like they just jump down there and get lost, or jump against the wall like that guy for no reason. And I'm going to jump against the wall for no reason as well. I hope I can gain some speed here. And you heard there that I hit the boost trip a few times in a row. That's just because the tunnel decided to behave like a wall, and it wouldn't let me take the momentum to well, take the angled wall basically, because it just pretended to be a normal solid wall. But still, it's not that bad so far. I think we had a few sub 1 minute laps and that new best player lap, so I'm pretty happy with that. This one is a bit longer, but still not too terrible. So the next lap, I'm just going to continue to keep talking because we don't have any music anymore. So this lap has a different start. I hope I nail it. No, I didn't. And I screwed it up even more afterwards. And I screwed it up even more afterwards. There we go. That's fine. Basically what I wanted to do was chain those 3 yellow strips together and then jump through the boost to gain a lot of speed. Now I'm going so slow, I have no idea where to jump because I never go this slow here. But we can fix it now and maybe get at least still a decent time. The final part of this track, which begins here, is difficult. It's sloped jumping, so I have to jump while still hovering like that, and then I have to do that 3 more times and nail it every single time. And now we can just take the speed we had from our last lap and take it all the way through this lap. I hope. Yes, 1400 should be maybe too fast even. Nope. Good. This is going to be a very fast lap. And the cat is still trying to climb into my neck. But it should be okay. I slowed down there a bit so I won't miss the jumps here. I hope. Nope. Really good. And this was a good track. Like sub 45 seconds is a really good lap. I keep switching lap with track, I don't know why. Now I'm going way too fast, yes, no, maybe, yes. Okay, I made it. Sometimes if you go too fast there, you miss a jump. And as you could see, I basically jumped on nothing for that second jump there. I don't know how it pulled it off, but I'm happy it did. I have to slow down here a bit again. And that's a bad jump. But I still managed to save it with a double jump after that. Another sub 45 second lap. Apart from the first lap, this has been going pretty well. Often I find myself failing on this next part with the hive-like structures, because the timing of the hover jumps is just really annoying. This might be sub 44, no, not yet. Maybe this one will be. Nope. I hit a small hump there, which slowed me down a bit too much. Not as much as possible, but it still kind of slowed me down. Like normally I would go maybe 1100 miles per hour here. Slightly a lot more than I'm going now at least. But that's not really that important because I have to slow down to do this chain jump here anyway. Oh shit. Yeah, that's pretty bad. That's even worse. So all the time we've gained on the past few laps we've lost here with a single, well, it was more than 2 fails, but basically yeah, this, in one sequence of fails we lost all that time. So there's a lot of time to lose in this game and not a lot of time to gain anymore. At least not for me. But it could still, it's still going pretty decently, I'd say. I haven't yet had any not even for the easy championship, which is a lot shorter, at a perfect one. And this might be okay. So I lost 9 seconds there, last lap. And to make up for 9 seconds, like a normal lap would be 46 seconds, a quick lap would be 44 seconds. So I would have to do four quick laps before I'm able to remove that one mistake I made. So this game is pretty punishing right now. I'm just glad I haven't hit any AIs anymore. Oh shit, I missed the track there. Oh, this is still quick enough to... Oh, I didn't even realize it was the last lap. So the next lap, pretty straightforward. Same as all the other laps. Build up as much speed as you can. And then just keep going with that speed in the back. I did take that shortcut there. It's yeah, it saves a few seconds, I suppose. But it's not that important, and it's something that I think a person who does this, who plays this for the third time, would do, because it's just saying, hey, jump over me, and you'll get a shortcut. This is a difficult part. So I jump into the wall there, then jump up to hit that boost strip that's above the ground, above the ground floor basically. So I can gain speed from that and chain it together with the finish line boost strip. And I make it sound really complicated because of all the stupid terms I use, but I don't know what else to say than to call it a boost strip. But if you have any recommendations about how to call it, something short preferably. Oh shit, that was pretty bad. I kind of saved it. But if you have any recommendations for terms in this game, I also just call every skip the Fireman skip because no one else plays this game. So I have all the rights to call everything everything. So I'll do a Fireman skip right here. Pretty good. I also like all the cool messages, really motivational. Oh my god, I hate that guy. He's getting in my way again. And those pyramids are another part where you really have to use the double jump to make it out with some speed, otherwise you're just going to be going way too slow if you start zigzagging there. We still have a few laps to go here. And I'm out of things to talk about this game for now. Well, actually, there is one thing I've tried in this specific track, which is another skip, but it doesn't save time. So I kind of scrapped that, and it was very inconsistent. Let's see, once we get past there again, I will tell you where the skip is. You probably won't be able to see it for more than a few seconds, if that, but it's right here to the left. And I'm sure you know exactly what I'm talking about when I said to the left. You jump up the fountain kind of structure, and you jump over the wall and jump back into the track on the other side. If you can see the minimap on the bottom right, basically you jump from that roundabout, you jump onto the track that's, well, in the minimap on the left side of it, and you skip half the track. But it's not quicker, so nobody does it. But on Dreamcast that might be faster, but I don't know. I really haven't tested that much because it's so much slower. So yeah, apart from that, not much interesting about this track, except that the AIs are really bad at surpassing those pyramids, and I'm really bad at racing. I shouldn't insult them. I think they get mad if I insult them. Get out of the way, please. That was pretty close. This tunnel here is a lot easier to deal with than all the other tunnels so far, which I'm really happy with. Another cool. And luckily we won't have any more minus laps like in the first track. Almost the final track. This is the second to last. And one of the longer ones. I tried just jumping down off that bridge. We will see that bridge again later. And then we will be below it. And I thought, well, if you can just jump down, stay out of bounds for a few seconds and then jump back into bounds like in the first track, it would work. But no, it doesn't. It just gives you another minus lap message. And you also don't want to jump onto the bridge. If you jump back onto the bridge, you have to do the same part over again. Without any, you can't jump down again and then just continue like you didn't jump up, because that's another minus lap. So you really want to make sure you don't do a huge jump there. This is, you will see a fun skip here at the end. And here on a hover jump. Jump over here, slow down really fast. Jump on the railing, jump up, and there we go. And this wasn't a bad first lap. Wasn't really fantastic, but not bad either. Oh no, oh no, no. Okay, that's fine. I thought I was going to fall off there for a second. Overall, so far, I'd rate this race around 8 out of 10. No real big mistakes except for that minus lap, which did cost 30 seconds overall. So that would normally have been a reset, because if you lose 30 seconds, it's really bad. It's really hard to get that back. But we'll be fine. I'm not sure about how far we are into the race in terms of time, but I should finish before the estimate. I was going to say way before the estimate, but I don't know.
We are currently at 52 minutes.
Oh, that's really good. I have about this track. It's one of the longest tracks. Should take around a minute per lap, so that's 4 minutes. And after that, another 4 minutes. I think we just won't hit sub 1 hour, which is, well, I think that's normal. That's basically, that's my goal for this race, for this difficulty, is to get sub 1 hour. So if I manage to pull that off, that'd be great. But if not, I wasn't really expecting it in a marathon, but it would be really bad if we like ended up at 1 hour and 34 seconds or something. That it's just the minus lap that screwed me over. And my cat is moving back onto my shoulders and trying to cut me open. But I still can't throw her off because I'm racing. And I purposely put my cat. My cat likes boxes, so I put down a fresh box onto the table so she would lie in there, and she did. But she still decided to show up once I started racing. just begging for attention basically. And I say basically pretty much as often as every other runner I'm noticing. That's basically what I do, basically. So this is also one of those tracks where you have to grab at least one of those boost rings, which fill up your boost meter, otherwise you're going to run out of boost. And you don't want that. And I'm glad I haven't fallen down once yet. Still have 3 laps to go, but usually I fall down at least once. Which is not a huge time loss, but it's still 5 to 10 seconds. But I find this track to be one of the more boring ones, because you can't go fast in this tunnel no matter what you try. And you also can't go fast at the spot after this, like here. You can come out of the tunnel at 800 miles per hour, but you will slow down so fast that it's quicker to just slow down before you come out of the tunnel and continue to boost until you go fast enough again. Like 700 miles per hour is good enough for that part. Oh shit. And that's what happens when you miss a hover jump, so a double jump basically. And now I have to do this normally instead of jumping all over the track. Okay, this is really good. First time I'm going this fast in this area. This is how I like to do this part, but sometimes it just doesn't work out that way. Now I like to get this side here, but as usual the tunnel just behaves like it's a wall. And you can get stuck in these ditches if you're not careful, and that loses a lot of time. If you jump directly into them first, they bring you to a complete halt, and those ditches are considered rough area, so you won't gain any real speed on there. I like skipping this entire part of the track. It's just cool, as they would say it. That was a really good lap. 105. This won't be such a good lap, I can tell. Well, okay, it's not that bad. I thought that that bump I hit there would slow me down much more, but it didn't really. And this is the final lap of this track. So I'm just going to try to not bump into anyone anymore. And this time it acted as if it was a tunnel, so that was good. But then it also acts as if it is a tunnel at the end, so you just slow down almost to a complete halt again. But luckily we have enough boost to just hold down the boost button and then gain some speed again. That's also a weird thing about this game compared to all the other games. I think also in this marathon, but just in general, is that boost is available at the start of the race instead of something you gain while racing. So that's pretty cool. This is my most hated track. It's the only track I don't have the world record of on 7 laps. I do have the best lap since last week, but not the best 7 lap. And it's just a really terrible... Well, it's a really fun track, but it's just really difficult. Like, you can fly out of that corner there, you can screw up this part. If you jump into these purple rings, you will just get knocked down. You can fall out of the course when you fall down, which would reset you on the last part, last position known on the track, which would be down where you started. So you have to do that part again. And generally it's just a really annoying jump to make. This could be a good lap at least. And you really want to try to bring that boost with you to where you're going to land, because then you can gain a lot more speed than you normally could. This isn't a bad lap, but like the world record for this is each lap 37 seconds and a few laps 36 seconds. So right now I'm not doing that bad actually, but it's just really difficult to consistently do that jump. I've done it really good here. Let's see if I can get a decent time for one lap at least. And it's still going to be oh yes, still going to be at 37 seconds, but it's pretty good for my standards at least. And this is the final track. So once we get to the final lap and I hit the finish line, that's time. That will be time. So we still got around 2 minutes to go. Don't know if the next runner has to prepare, but if so, go for it. I'm almost done. Oh no. Oh yeah, okay. I was worried that I was going to hit the ow, cat is crawling into my neck. I was worried that I was going to hit the ice block there, but it seems I just bumped my head on against the bottom of it, so that's okay. And I'm going to miss that one. That costs a few, well, not a few seconds, a few milliseconds I think. I still hit a 37 second lap, so, but they're all high 37 seconds laps, which the world record does not have any of, I think. And here I jumped a bit too late, so I didn't keep the boost strip speed acceleration, or the acceleration of the boost strip, and I hit that guy. But at least I didn't completely freak out and hit the ceiling for no reason. I lost 2 seconds there. That was pretty close as well. I'm just really glad I didn't mess up that part at all. So this should still be, oh my god, and I immediately start screwing up. This should still be a good time. So once I hit the finish line, it's time. And I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you download this game and start running it. I would welcome any competition. So that was it. I don't know if there's any time left. I don't really have anything to show, so maybe check if I got any good times, if we have time for that.
That run was 1:02:33, by the way.
Ooh, that's pretty good, but not sub 1 hour, but okay. I don't know what day it is today. Which date? 26? No? Well, whatever. You can basically go to all the times here and check your own time or the best lap time. I don't think I got any. No. But you can see what they are like. But yeah, that's all for me. I hope you enjoyed. And I'm going to shut down the game and the stream, so enjoy the rest of the marathon.